Hi everybody, welcome back to another video. I'm going to keep this one nice and short for you. So you saw from the thumbnail about magic. There's a lot of stuff connected with Disney in the thumbnail, and it's no coincidence that it's called the Magic Kingdom. So in the Bible there's a couple of different kinds of sorcery, if you like. There's the one where there's the physical manifestation. God can work miracles, but there is also a dark art that evidently by the Bible can be learned by men, and we can see that in the story of Moses when he goes to challenge Pharaoh to have God's people released from bondage, and he threw down his staff that became a serpent, and the wizards of Pharaoh's court also did the same. So that physical magic definitely exists. And we'd be fools to think that that knowledge doesn't exist still today, but as it was kept to the elite classes and those closest to those in power, we can be almost certain that that's where these dark arts are kept now, and obviously they're not being used for the benefit of all. They're only being used for the benefit of a few, and wouldn't take a mathematician to work out that it's probably being used for the direct detriment of the masses to keep those who are in power in power. And again, we'd be naive to think that these things don't exist. It doesn't take you very long to do some research and find out about some books, but most people are just too busy, and that's where the other side of magic comes into it. And this is where the word spell, casting a spell, if you think about that word, people think magic, casting a spell, but that word spell and also that word are very interesting, because to cast a spell is to spell a word, to cast a word. Jesus always spoke about the word, and no, Jesus was not a quote-unquote magician, he was God, and that's a journey you'll have to take for yourself and come to your own conclusion if you haven't drawn on that already. But a spell, what do I say in the thumbnail? That you are spellbound. From the moment we come out of the womb and we start consuming global media, we immediately become put under a spell. Now, what is a spell? Magic, by definition, is to alter that which exists to the preference of the magician, the one who would seek to alter it, right? For whatever reason, you're finding that this thing isn't doing what you want it to do, so you will cast a spell, a word, to alter that. And that can also be used in the manipulation of people, and unfortunately many parents actually do it in manipulation of their children, and by extension many of the parents don't actually know that they're servants to higher wizards. And the whole world, as the Bible speaks about the maddening wine of Babylon, it says in the end time it will seem like everybody's drunk. Everybody's actually under a spell, and it's because they have chosen to give their eyes and ears to these wizards who have corrupted their minds, and then instead of standing up and accepting that they have been completely duped and 90% of what they know is just absolute rubbish, they will then become servants of those wizards, and they will propagate that spell onto their children, and they will indoctrinate their children through that same magic, that same manipulation, that same spell. And that's what the movie Fantasia, I just don't know how to put images and that into my videos yet, but very classic imagery with Mickey and Fantasia. And it's called The Master's Apprentice, and he's manipulating these broomsticks to dance and do the cleaning up for him, and everything starts to get out of control, and then the master comes in and he solves it. That is an example of the people who are apprenticed to these higher wizards, and of course many of them won't identify themselves as wizards, but there are some who secretly do behind closed doors. But things can get out of control for the apprentice, and then they have to call the wizard in. Now you'll see that there's a two-tier stage there. It's kind of similar to the rule of the Sith, the rule of two, right? But that's getting off on a tangent whether George Lucas was trying to bring witchcraft into his story or not. I don't actually know. Maybe he was, maybe he wasn't. I don't know. First rule that I always have is I never say that nobody knows. I just say that I don't know. There's one thing that I've learned through this journey is that many of the things that I thought, well, nobody knew because everybody doing it, was just a fact of no, I just didn't know and everybody else was a coward to tell me. So there are certainly many things that I don't know, and whether George Lucas was instituting witchcraft or tapping into that during the production of his original trilogy, I do not know, haven't looked into it. But Disney is unmistakably and overtly, they call themselves the Magic Kingdom, and as you can also see, there's plenty of imagery of 666 through their work, the manipulation of the minds of young girls to give them the impression that that they're all princesses and they want to be princesses, and you can go into all that yourself. But you'll see in regards to the two, well, the master and the apprentice, and you'll see the masses of these faceless automatons that just kind of go about and they do the bidding of the masters, and they're cleaning up the mess, right, which is actually the mess that the apprentice made, right? He's trying to clean it up, and that's all symbolic of the people who are casting the spell over the whole world, and they're having all these people running around killing each other, making mess, cleaning up mess, and everybody is under this influence, under this magic, under this spell. So to cast magic, like if I was just to talk to you for a second and you didn't know me and I was just to watch you for about a minute and ask you a couple of questions, I could find out some things that you're interested in, and then I could start speaking about that to you, and your defenses will start to lower, and then I can start insinuating, and I can start to mess with your head, right? These are the dark arts. This is magic. This is manipulation. And of course, as I said, there is the physical dark art which exists, and we'd be fooled to think that people aren't out there practicing it, but of course it's not going to be on America's Got Talent, right? God says that all sorcerers and all liars are going to the lake of fire, and those who manipulate people for their own gain, manipulate to change, to use magic, to make something that is the way it is, and then to change it for your own benefit, for your self-serving wants. That, in God's eyes, is magic, to cast a spell, to cast a word. So thanks for watching. I think I've made my point. I'll see you on the next one. Babylon is fallen. Let it go. The writing's on the wall. I'll see you all on the next one. Bye for now.